welcome back to my hunting channel. Well, this morning I checked out my mail this morning. I had a new subscriber to my channel from Holland, which I'm grateful for. I always love hearing from other people, especially I was in Holland a couple times when I was stationed in Germany. Beautiful country, visited Amsterdam and Rottenburg, and I mean all those places over there. I had a great time. And I supported the Netherlands Army when they were at Fort Hood training with their Apache helicopters. So, a great country. So, anyway, get back to the subject. He was asking on how to mount the scope. Well, the scope is fairly easy to mount, and there's not a lot to it. It's just you gotta have, I would have a little crescent wrench to break it. Now, I'm getting ready to hunt in a little over 2.5 weeks, maybe. So I'm going to do this anyway because I'm going to readjust it anyway. So I'm going to take this off and then I'm going to put it back on for him so he can see how to do this, or anybody else. One thing they don't do is, and nobody ever gives you a manual on actually how to mount it, and that's important. Scopes are important. First thing you want to make sure of is that when you hold it to your thing, you got a proper eyesight through the scope. You want to make sure, okay, it's positioned where I need to shoot, okay? Now, I've already done mine and bore sighted it in, so it's not really going to hurt me. So what I'm going to do is take it off right now, and we're going to start from the beginning, and then we're going to go outside and finish this thing up. There, the scope is off. So, I'm going to get out of the frame, but I got to bring this in a little closer to you. Alright, along the pentakinetic rail, you have little grooves, okay? Now, mine's already been mounted. On the bottom of the scope here is the ridge. It rides right in there. So you want to loosen it up fairly loose, right? So when you put it on, you want to make sure it's seated inside the hole. I'm trying to do this in video, so it's not going to actually work out all the time for me. Especially I want to get it back where I had it. Alright. You'll notice, excuse me, here you have two little lines, the bolts that go through there. Those bolts must be in between these grooves right here, okay? So keep that in mind, that they are inside the groove line where they need to be. Alright, there you go. Snug it down. You want to make sure it's snug, right? And then once again, we're going to pick it up and look through it. So hold on. Once you got it in the slot, you want to make sure it doesn't move back and forth. Tighten these up finger tight. Use the actual bolt nut wrench on this, or like an adjustable wrench, and you just kind of want to snug it. Do not over snug it. There's no need to gorilla torque this thing down too tight, okay? And of course, with the limbs in the way, you're just going to have to manipulate your wrench so you can get in there. That should be tight enough. Yeah, I don't want to over tighten it. Alright. Also, there's a hole in here. You can actually stick an Allen wrench in it a little bit and turn it. That's how I used to put it on for this. But that's all there is to mounting the scope. So there you have it. The scope is actually mounted. It's on there. Make sure that the little rails, the bolt that you see that goes through this thing is riding in between the slot of the rail. You want to hold it up there. Make sure when you put your face on the cheek pad that you're looking through the crossbow and it's not blurry and you're not getting distortion. So, next step is more important than after you mount this. You want to bore sight your target, your sight. Now, what I didn't show you on top of your thing is a ring. That ring is adjusted for your bow speed. Mine originally was 410 feet per second, but after I shot it through the chronograph, I saw that it was 425, so I moved my dial to 425 and went out and shot my target. Okay, Ten Point, I'm going to put that link on the bottom, has how to bore sight your crossbow, especially the Havocs and stuff like that, because you have multiple ranges that you shoot at. Mine is very simple. It's like 20, 30, 40, 50, so on and so forth. Now, when I use my friend's Havoc, I found that the crossbow was a little different because you had an X and then you had a dot, so it was like 10, 20, 30, you know, whatever you want to set it at, I guess. Anyway, I would go to Ten Point video that's on the link below and watch how they do it. So for me, since I just took this thing off, We're going to go outside. I'm going to verify that my sight has not changed, make a few adjustments if I need to, and bring you along. Because make sure after you put the scope on, go to 20 yards, shoot, get it sighted in, and then move back to 30, 35 yards, okay? And that will help you get your scope and your crossbow together and your eye on target. Hunting season's in 2.5 weeks. I look forward to bringing in the deer, so hang tight, let's go bore sight. We were upstairs. We put the scope on the crossbow. I'm sitting about 20 yards from my targets down here, and we're going to try to shoot one and see where I hit, make any adjustments. But once again, I'm going to shoot this week, and I'll probably shoot about a week before I hunt just to make sure. So let's shoot one, see how we did with mounting the scope and bore sighting it, all right? All right, I guess it's time to go see how we did on the shot. I don't know yet. I'm going to check it. Well, dead center of the X. So I took my scope off, put it right back on, tightened it back down. Remember, I've already bore sighted this, so it's a good shot. Am I going to make any adjustments? No way. But I will drop back to 35 yards. To see how the shot improves or disimproves and see what I got to make for adjustments. So I'm going to post this picture right here of this shot online for you. So hang in, let's do one at 35. All right, here we are now at 35 yards. But I'm going to pause here for a second. Another viewer asked me about the bolts. As you can see, my bolt is straight up and down. I'm shaking it. It does not come loose. So if you're walking through the woods with an arrow bolt in it and it's cocked, I walked all the way down to my tree stand, my platform, and walked up and down, pushed around, and my bolt never came out of the shooting position. I don't recommend walking with the bolt in it cocked, you know, that's just personal preference. But anytime you get ready to shoot it, just in case, I would always double check to make sure it's seated, that your nock is seated into the string. So far, mine hasn't come loose. So let's go on back down here and see what we do at 30 yards here. As most of you know, I've already got my area already roped off on what I'm going to shoot and where, so that's going to be pretty good. But we don't know until we actually shoot. Alrighty, let's go down and see where we are at 30 yards. I don't have much to shoot at 40, so 30, 35, probably the max that I will shoot mine at the moment, but I can go out to 40 and 50. I have shot it just to make sure. So let's walk down and check the target and finish this video. Well, 30 yards, dead center again. I'll take a picture and post it right here, or here, wherever I put it, alright? Bottom line is, I didn't shoot two bolts back to back because guess what? You wind up hitting the other. My wife got them where it went right down the side of each of them, almost a Robin Hood. These things are expensive, so I wouldn't recommend doing that. This target has from web spider web targets, high density, 14-inch or XL. No speed limit, but I'm telling you what, I'm still burying it probably 1.5 inches from the veins. It goes in there, but the 450 big shot, it went all the way through that, and that's just because the 16-inch Evo carbon bolts from TenPoint, they're phenomenal. They go through stuff like there's, you know, like a knife through butter. I mean, that is nice. So I'm hoping this answers your questions on how to put the scope on, what to do with after the scope. It applies to whatever weapon you shoot. Rifle, crossbow, whatever. You have to mount it. You have to play time and sighting it in. I would sight it in at 20 yards because if you're at 35 yards, if you shoot high or low, it might go over your target and into the woods somewhere you don't want it to go. That is the reason I got my little block, even though it's accurate, I know it is, because if I did miss, or like my friend Bob did, he hit the top of my target and went in, and a couple times he hit the side. But you know what? That's all part of this bore sighting thing with the crossbows. But today's crossbows have got so much power, it's unreal. So ladies and gentlemen, thank you for watching my channel. Please subscribe if you like me. Give me a thumbs up if you like me. Thumbs down. Comments, I like it. And if you have a question, ask. I will do my best to answer to everything. Oh, by the way, my hat, my shirt, this is all stuff that I bought. If I'm shooting 10 point, I'm going to wear their stuff because I love 10 point, right? And if I shot bog, I'd have my bog hat on, right? Whatever I use, I try to, what do you want to say it? Wear their logo, so it kind of helps boost it if I believe in it. But no, ain't replacing my 10 point. I just wish it was a black shirt with a white logo or something. But hey, it might be in the future. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Let's go get the deer and have some fun. Thank you.